Welcome back, everyone, to the HCS Atlanta Major. It is a big matchup for us here. We've got Native Gaming versus BitterSweet. It is do or die. Both teams 0-2 in the pools. Winner will go through, and loser will go home. It is as simple as that. It is the biggest game for both of these teams now, and after having a rough time in the pools, I'm expecting them to give everything going forward. You've already seen some early kills for Native against BitterSweet, and the flag is on the move. A nice early cap could be everything for them here, and there will be an early cap as Gilkey gets the first one on the board. It has not been a fun time so far for Native Gaming, but now maybe against BitterSweet they can finally show us what they're made of, and perhaps getting a little bit of a confidence boost that has been required. You can see another flag already on the go here, Jersey. Barcode with it, about to put it in.
BitterSweet in big trouble. Have not started this series at all yet, it must be said. Two players still yet to register a kill. At the moment, Native Gaming 2-0 to the good, so absolutely dreadful start for BitterSweet, and they've got to wake up and wake up quickly, because this series is only going to get worse if they don't get their act together.
I think when Native Gaming got into pools, they would have been looking at that series, at this series as the big one. This is our chance to try and get into bracket play. But they, of course, had to get through two very difficult matchups leading up to it. Two matchups that ended up being rather one-sided as well, and that is quite demoralizing. It's quite difficult to have those matches and then go into this one. This is the perfect way to bounce back with an early lead.
And we were talking about it with the rest of the talent. Where do you want to be playing? What games do you want to have? And Kuhlect could be about to half the deficit. Yes, he can. 2-1 now the score. For Kuhlect, maybe has ambitions of a little bit of revenge, of course, playing with this Native Gaming roster so long ago as Gilkey gets himself a triple kill and immediately sets his sights on pushing this flag forward.
This might be one of the quickest Forbidden games that we have seen so far this tournament, as the third flag is very much on the way. And with a triple kill off the back of it, we are going to need to see BitterSweet getting a very quick transition from one side to the other. There is a touch, so this will stay alive temporarily here.
There's a touch, that means there's a chance. Is there a chance for BitterSweet to stop this flag in its tracks before he can get punched in? Descendant continues to jiggle peek, trying to delay this for as long as he possibly can. Gilkey's going to juggle, Gilkey's going to get the kill, scoop it up, slam it home. Native Gaming take the lead in the series, 1-0.
Wow, how about that? A very quick, emphatic performance. And that means we have a time for a quick break. We'll be back with map number 2.
Welcome back, folks. It is game 2 in this series. Pool D is yet to be decided. These two teams have elimination bracket, or even just bracket play in general, on the line in this series. You lose, you go home. So that's how much and how important victory is here in this series. Now, if you stepped away to go to the bathroom, perhaps, or went to make a cup of tea, you might be noticing, hang on a minute, game 2, where did game 1 go? It was a sub 2-minute game then, Forbidden captured the flag, and it was over very quickly.
Honestly, one of the quickest CTF games I've seen in quite some time. It really shows that Native Gaming here to play, but what a response now from BitterSweet here in the Slayer. 5-1 up already. Shock rifle in the hand of Kuhlect as well. They need to have a response. You can't go down like that and be tossed to one side and then not have any sort of response. Otherwise, you're just going to get trampled all over in this series. So I think this is a good situation for BitterSweet. They have a little bit of a lead now, some momentum to go off.
Native Gaming rolled them in game number 1, hoping to bounce back here in game 2. BitterSweet, Dan, all 4 players on that team at one point or another found themselves in higher positions on the card, you would say, and they've all found themselves now having to go through the open brackets. You know, they've already qualified. Native Gaming were through the open bracket, but BitterSweet would have found themselves on a top 8 team, a top 6 team at once upon a time, but now they find themselves in and around that top 12, top 16 marker, and that's just not where they want to be.
Yeah, sometimes that happens after you get these team changes and you try and build a new team, or you might just be the scraps of other team changes that have happened and you just work with what you've got. And it's a situation where you want to try and prove yourself so that maybe you can step up that ladder once more and get onto a better team if it doesn't have the natural chemistry. And right now, it's not looking the best for BitterSweet. Yes, they're leading in this one, but 1-0 down in the series. Can they try and get back into it as Gilkey can't get the kill? It's going to be 9-5 now in favor of BitterSweet as the power-up's going to be spawning, and it is going to be slammed home. BitterSweet are going to have the chance to use it for the first time.
Descendant and pipes, tapping buttons, faces them up. Kuhlect's got camouflaged and on the batteries and looking to hunt down, tapping buttons. He has located, situated behind him then. Down to no shields, tapping buttons, and made himself a much more difficult kill than perhaps he should have been. APG will also fall down, former teammate, of course, of Kuhlect. And again, playing against your former roster, you always want the bragging rights. You always want to prove that they made a mistake. As it stands, he finds himself down 1 in the series, but a nice double kill to give themselves a 4-kill lead.
I will say, if Kuhlect starts to go off, we know what Kuhlect can do, and individually he can change games. I've seen him win an entire series when he's playing at his very best. So I'm glad we're on his POV for a little bit here. Camouflage, of course, gone now, but does have the shock as a reward. He's very patient to get that shock rifle as well. And now just needs to make sure he puts it to work here. Can really influence the game just with a couple of headshots, but tapping buttons just escapes it.
And Native Gaming, Dan, it's worth noting, didn't have it all their own way in the open bracket. The Australian team, Mindfreak, almost causing the upset. Eventually, Native Gaming did bounce back and get the reverse sweep, but there were some nervy moments at times because we thought it was a best of 3. They were down 2-0. We thought that series was over. So for Barcode, his former teammates and some of his compatriots almost eliminated from the tournament, or at least dropped down the elimination bracket.
But we saw that reaction on social media as well when they did manage to get that reverse sweep, and that's going to make you feel good going into Saturday's competition. But sadly, Saturday has not really gone the way that Native Gaming would have wanted, losing out to Quadrant in a pretty impressive fashion, actually. The way Quadrant were playing, I think sometimes we've seen Quadrant struggle a little bit when teams do come in from the open bracket, and they might drop a map or 2 here or there, but Quadrant looked very impressive. And then SSG also kind of tossing Native Gaming to one side. They did drop a Slayer 50-49, but nothing really to be too scared about. Native will want to try and do exactly the same that was done to them here. They would like to get a 3-0 so that they can move into bracket play and look like a bit more of a formidable force. At the moment, after the performances from SSG and Quadrant, they look like a team that others will probably want to be facing in the elimination bracket.
And that's the issue, isn't it, right? They have this strife that they're trying to get back into the top 8 conversations, top 6. Both these teams want to be far more competitive when they play against the likes of SSG and Quadrant, but right now this is where they find themselves. One team having to do the open bracket, both teams just fighting it out, trying to survive in the competition.
Well, Native Gaming have finally got hold of the camouflage here, a chance for tapping buttons to do something, but does get tagged, so he has to redirect his route. And you do get spotted out, sometimes it's about just trying to find a different path so you can put that camouflage to use. It's exactly what he does, but he's not able to get the double. I think that's good news for BitterSweet, shutting tapping down before he's able to start to go off. Remember, tapping also another player individually who can really change a game as well. I think looking at Native's roster in general, on any given day, one of these guys can step up and be the big difference maker, but if no one does, it kind of looks a little bit dicey for them.
Yeah, can step up, but will they step up? At the moment, down by 2, have just eaten away at that lead. APG gets a kill off camera. Here comes the push now. Gilkey will get one. Manny, excuse me, will help KingNick get one. Barcode's going to trade out with Manny. So not much between these two as we hit the halfway point. KingNick staying alive in back blue and then pushing towards tower to help a teammate. That gets a kill elsewhere as well. So trading all the while, BitterSweet maintaining that 2-kill advantage up until this point.
At one point it was KingNick versus APG in a winner's final, and now it's for staying in the competition in pool play. So it really is crazy how some of these team changes can affect players and how they have to try and revive their careers in certain teams and certain scenarios. But this is a big one for both of these squads, because you'd have to imagine if BitterSweet were to lose this one and go out in top 16, not escape pools, does this team survive? Is there changes? Most likely that's what happens when you're down this low and you're not able to get the success that you've been looking for. As for Native Gaming, they've already been through their changes. They've already been through the kind of ruins of trying to find that perfect 4th player to work with them. And if they were to dip out in pool play, I'm sure they would be equally as disappointed.
Team has gone through many iterations. Still yet to find the piece that they need. Perhaps tapping buttons can be just that. Descendant with a beautiful shot with that shock rifle. Now rotating towards Whirlpool and eyeing up any spawners towards long haul. Has that information, finds the face of tapping buttons. Gilkey could be his latest victim, who just about thinks the better of it and backs away. And this is what BitterSweet need to maintain that lead. And every time Native Gaming threaten to push closer, try and make some moves, BitterSweet are shutting it down.
BitterSweet have been very patient. They've been waiting for Native Gaming to be pushing, kind of catching one player off guard, and then using that extra man to push through and get a couple more kills. Native just need that opening. They need that pick. At the moment, they are consistently 3 or 4 kills behind, and they've not been able to gain the lead. If Native do gain the lead, I think this game might be done. Native are far better once they have a little bit of control, but they've just not been able to wrestle it back from BitterSweet yet.
Yeah, Native Gaming just want something to hold on to. And at the moment, BitterSweet keeping themselves out of touching distance, even if it is just a fingertip away now with the 2-kill advantage. Barcode position
What is
top
that?
elevator.
What is on his gun there? There was just so much was happening.
Visual clutter, is that what you're trying to
A
call it?
lot of visual clutter there. Just get it off, Barcode. Come on.
Well, if it works for him, it definitely works for him. He's got a lot of real estate to play with here inside Whirlpool, playing this one slow. And this Slayer has got some nervy edge to it, doesn't it? No players really want to make mistakes, not going to risk anything. Barcode's will get the kill he desired, try and dip away. Unfortunately, he's lost a couple of teammates. A melee on the way out, double kill locked in, and again, that 2 kill is now a 3 kill advantage. BitterSweet doing so well at keeping that lead. Camouflage has just popped up. KingNick has popped into his chest. What a career so far in Halo Infinite KingNick has had. He's almost watched his kingdom grow smaller and smaller as time has gone on. Like you say, making it top 2 at E United, now finds himself battling in the competition just to try and survive this pool play.
You said what a career, and then you started to list how it's just gone downhill lately. And it's
That's my career.
Yeah, it happens. Some of the greats, they will fall every now and then, but it's the biggest question is, can they come back and be at the top where they once found themselves? And certainly the first step is getting out of pool play, getting into bracket play to give yourself that chance of trying to make that dream run. Because neither of these teams can make it into winner's bracket, remember. Whoever wins this will be in elimination bracket come the rest of the day. 45-39 now, so BitterSweet closing in on tying this up 1-1, but Native Gaming still within a shot. Can't give away too many kills though.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. You win this series, it doesn't get any easier from here on out. It's going to be a straight dogfight, fighting for your life at every single turn. Descendant, though, locks in another kill. 3 away now from victory and tying up this series, and that's exactly what BitterSweet needed after that game 1 defeat.
Needed someone to be taking this game by the horns, and I think Descendant will be happy with how he's played so far. 3 more kills required, but 2 do go in favor of Native Gaming, and that's the worrying sign. Yes, Nick has the shock rifle. We can make the difference, and it's a big shot to hit because it gets them even closer now, especially with the assist coming through. It's 49-44. Surely BitterSweet have this one. Yes, they do. BitterSweet will tie us up 1-1. We do, in fact, have a series on our hands. It looked pretty dicey after that first map, but it does mean we are going to get some more Halo action on our screens. But of course, with map 2 being done, that means it's time for a break. We'll be back for map number 3.
Welcome back, folks. The HCS Atlanta Major, hosted by FaZe Clan. Game 3 here on our plates to dissect and consume. Series currently sitting at 1-1. And if you're just joining us, this one is very important. The most important for these two teams as a tournament so far, as it's just to make it out into bracket play.
Oddball Street's a very difficult one to try and one-up over another team. We even saw it earlier with 2 teams who were on a very different class, actually. A team that was getting absolutely slapped was still able to keep it somewhat competitive here on Oddball Streets, because all it takes is 1 all 4 dead. You can get some good amount of time on the ball, but no ball time for either team at the moment. Very competitive in the middle of the map as they're trying to just try and get ahead of the other. And finally now, a chance to set up for Native Gaming at the first. And it will be a tower setup that they're going to go for. APG will probably hold down Pink, need someone over towards Arcade, and then it's just a matter of communicating. Where's that push coming? How do we set up to stop it?
APG on our screens, and you might have seen him on social media, getting a little bit lively when he was talking some smack in the open bracket. Although some players were talking smack to him, and he was answering back in a very emphatic fashion, holding up his championship ring finger, which we do love and we do enjoy. Tapping buttons now is that player you spoke about who was going to be on the Arcade side, holding down some damage. Barcode's gotten a double kill. 3 have gone down. KingNick now has to wait, hold his position, and wait for the cavalry to arrive.
Yeah, it's always frustrating when you know the damage has been done elsewhere, but as the last remaining player, if you push in whilst others are spawning, you've just put yourselves on staggered spawns, and you're not helping your team at all. So KingNick quite wisely goes back, rotates, and will do a lot of damage again, and does actually get a kill. So great play from Nick, just needs the help now, and here it comes.
The help arrives, and the help gets a kill. Manny doing an incredible job, being close enough to his teammate to capitalize on the damage that was done. APG down to no shields, as is now Manny. He dips away with the ball carrier to try and provide some cover fire. Perhaps gonna throw some punches if anybody heads into PD. Fortunately for him, no one is gonna face him right now. Kuhlect drops the ball, rotates out, looks to contest this camouflage. Gets it completely free, no damage taken until a little tick comes his way towards the end. Can he round the corner? Yes, he can. Camouflage and Bulldog for Kuhlect. Can he do something special with it?
APG nearly hit that shot on the camo as well. He heard the call out, knew Kuhlect was on 1 shot, and he jumped out of tires to try and get the kill. But now it's going to be 3 dead for Native, and Kuhlect gets the job done with the camo. So now BitterSweet should be able to put some time on the board here, as it's not the cleanest attempt at a kill. But at least Kuhlect's done the damage and survives with the camo, and now he'll clean up tapping.
Earlier in the fight, with the camouflage, did showcase some great trigger discipline, letting one player run by, using the bulldog in the second, then cleaning up the scraps that was left from the double kill. And that meant that this game now, 37-31, 6-second lead. It's not much, but it's enough for now. Gilky's going to pick up the ball. Slay's not too heavily in their favor. That's just changed the death of KingNick. Descendant in Cafe. As a matter of fact, 3 members of Native, all positioned, or of BitterSweet, excuse me, all positioned over towards that Cafe side. Kuhlect picked up a double kill, and that's going to really hurt the cause for Native Gaming. Gilky going to prioritize slaying here if he can. Yes, he can. KingNick will get one onto Gilky. Tapping button's also going to fall at the hands of Kuhlect. Now ball time for BitterSweet. So time starting to mount up. This is much better for BitterSweet in the upper.
Yeah, with Descendant last game stepping up, but it's Kuhlect now who's putting up the numbers for BitterSweet. Doesn't always mean everything. Of course, there's assists coming across the board, but Kuhlect does look in fine form. Of course, a very different experience it's been so far for BitterSweet comparatively to Native Gaming. They've only played the 2 pool play matches, whereas Native were able to play through an entire open bracket. That means there's a lot more chemistry that can be built, a lot can be learned through that entire day on Friday through Open, whereas BitterSweet, all they could learn really was that they had 2 struggling games in pool play for themselves to work with. And yes, they have more time to go back, VOD review, and to look at things. I guess that's one benefit of being in pool play.
Yeah, BitterSweet definitely trying to put some credence in the expression, you don't lose, you learn. Well, they've done quite a lot of losing, so let's hope learning was done. They can implement some of the things that they did learn into this series against Native Gaming that already shown signs of improvement. KingNick trying desperately to toss the ball out front base in the bottom middle, unable to do so. Descendant over towards Cafe, that nade will spin up and do a little bit of damage, but not enough to take the shields away. APG's been passed the ball, he obliges, picks it up, and continues to score for his team. BitterSweet, though, have got a sizable lead here that Native will need to cut into if they stand a chance to win this round 1.
Good positioning from APG at the moment. Having the ball in PD and doing some damage, just needs a little bit of help so they can clean up some of these kills, and it could result in a good amount of ball time as well. We know APG, very experienced at playing the objective, knows how to navigate a lot of these areas to get as much ball time as possible, and here it is ticking up once more. 1 player dead, but there's going to be 2 down on the side of Native, so now APG has to just toss that ball away, get it out of any chance of BitterSweet getting it into PD, so it's a good rotation, but he's the last alive, so this is where you really need to get a trade to try and make your life worth it.
He has delayed this ball time for BitterSweet. Tapping has spawned up. APG will eventually go down. The rest of Native Gaming are there to try and provide some support. The ball has rolled its way all the way down to the fresh spawners. Heads-up play from the world champion APG.
It's still going. The ball just won't stop. BitterSweet trying to grab it, but it just keeps rolling away from them downhill. And it will get
attached to a fishing rod, isn't it?
Native saying, please do chase it. We're waiting for you. The ball gets reset. 4 dead now for BitterSweet. This is going to be the best chance Native are going to get at an actual setup here to work with. Over towards Trap. So we're going to see, I think, BitterSweet trying to attempt some sort of pink push. Maybe they go for a split here. Barcode with the camouflage is going to get a lot of information. And look, Gilky was waiting in the wings as well.
Waiting in the wings but falls. KingNick gets one, but answered back by Barcode with that camouflage, trying to download the information and pass it on to his team. It was a 2-2 split. Dan, you were right. Descendant, last one alive on his side. Manny's going to try and get close. It's going to be good enough for a trade. That benefits BitterSweet a little bit more than it does Native. But Kuhlect has fallen elsewhere. They've made it into traps, which means the ball has to be played, has to be dropped. No more scoring is allowed. Native Gaming hold a very slender, indeed, 2-second lead.
Tapping was doing very well to listen to both Barcode and Gilky of where those players were going to be, and he was cleaning up a lot of the damage that was being done. They tried to lay a trap, did Native, and it got them good amount of time. So they can't really complain too much. Even though it wasn't the cleanest of traps, it certainly did work out. And now they're closing in on taking this first round.
Well, the BitterSweet have. The push is going to come. They're not getting close. But so much damage being put down by Gilky just to ensure round 1 goes the way of Native Gaming.
When push comes to shove, just give Gilky a Stalker rifle and he'll get the job done in those final moments. Native take the lead here on Oddball Streets. Despite the fact that BitterSweet had a good amount of control for several periods in that game, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow. need to look at themselves and say, what went wrong? How did we throw that one away? And I think it was just that one push that meant they were all 4 down and allowed Native to get a big chunk of time over towards Tram.
The all 4 down and the camouflage grab really did come back to bite them in the backside. Descendant's got the ball though. APG's not too comfortable with his surroundings, trying to clear out Tram. Knew KingNick was there, but KingNick gets the better of him. As APG was already weak by the time he had got there. Camouflage has now just popped up. Kills have gone the way of Native. 3 dead. Kuhlect, last man standing, gonna try and make this a difficult camo grab. Not difficult enough though. Barcode's got it in his chest.
Barcode again with the camo. Last time he was very passive with it because they were holding a setup. But now, as this isn't really as much of a setup as they had before, he might be a little bit more aggressive. Again, he's just trying to get info, but he does get sniffed out, and it's another camouflage that goes slightly to waste, but still getting ball time. I think that's what's important. Both times that Barcode has had that camouflage, the ball has been in hand, so he's not going to be too disappointed. Oh, I love that from Nick as well, saying, you try and toss it, I'll send it back, but with that animation, does leave himself vulnerable when he goes down.
A big couple of kills for KingNick to get as well. Spotting the camouflage player in Barcode who was sitting on Laundry, gets the kill, then cleans up the one on the shotgun, pushes forward and makes sure the ball carrier cannot play it as comfortably as he would have liked. They have now got control of that ball and they're moving it straight back into Tram. Descendants firing out the front door, trying to keep those pesky neighbors at bay.
Does that happen often in Ireland? Is that something I need to be concerned about? You asked me to move, that's never going to happen if you're firing out the front door. Now, Descendant hasn't really had as much success as he did in the previous game, but he has been very much a support player in this game so far with some of the positions he's found himself in. And if he can manage to just watch over that camouflage and help someone get it, it can be huge here for BitterSweet.
Descendant continues to defend Tram with his life. And a good reason. The ball carrier's in there and he's trying to keep him nice and safe, snug, comfortable and warm. Camouflage is up. Nobody yet to get their hands on it. Kuhlect's going to opt to drop the ball and try and do some slaying. APG's got to kill somewhere else and it's going to be over in the pink stairs in fact. That's where he's going to find it. Descendant swinging and a miss and shadow boxing there he was and just couldn't connect. Onto the back, chest, leg, shin, wherever he wanted to hit APG, it wasn't connected and wasn't finding a hole.
Just any body part at that point, but someone did clean up the kill, so it didn't matter too much. As BitterSweet hold a slender lead right now, but we saw in the previous round it didn't matter for much, as once Native did get going, they were able to get a significant amount of time. But BitterSweet have had more success at holding Tram this round, which has been the biggest difference for them. And it's going to be another Tram setup for them to work with. Not quite the perfect setup though, Kuhlect's down at the moment. So there's a lot to do if you're trying to hold here, and KingNick does get the opener, but it's traded out.
Kuhlect goes down as well, 5 perfect shots.
Ball dropped.
Connect. Tapping buttons forces BitterSweet to play the ball. Descendant alone in Tram again, trying to defend it. He's going to go down, but not before taking tapping buttons along with him for the ride. 2 men submit their tickets to the boatman, and down the river Styx they go. So ball out front C, or Tram if that's the way inclined to wear, because I know Westcoast hates when I call it front C in matchmaking.
He does, he hates it. He actually gets really angry with Jersey. It's been quite ugly to watch, but it's going to be another conversation that happens in the green room later.
Incoming.
The Tram setup didn't work out as well as BitterSweet would have hoped, but they are still ahead and have doubled the lead now over Native Gaming. I really feel like they need a couple more camouflages to work with here. It's been a little bit too easy for that camo to go into the side of Native Gaming, but in 15 seconds maybe Kuhlect can make a difference here, and does have the Stalker Rifle to work with as well. We saw the Stalker Rifle made a difference in the previous round when Gilkey had it, so now Kuhlect needs to do something the same.
Nope, nobody can touch APG right now. He's like Roy O'Bannon with shots firing over his head. That's a good reference if anybody knows the movie. I'm not going to give you any hints.
Well, APG's had some big moments so far in this series. He had that moment where he was able to rotate that ball away from 4 players on BitterSweet and just stop them from getting any sort of setup over towards tower, as now Gilkey has the camouflage. And again, it's in favor of Native Gaming. BitterSweet just not able to control the power-ups like Native have been able to do so. And that is what is keep Native in this game, to be honest. The kills dead even, 69 for both, nice, but now we're going to see whether BitterSweet can actually take advantage of a couple of deaths here.
APG looking for cover in red room. Barcode gets a kill. The Bulldog. He's got that on a tight leash. Gets a kill for him. He drops down, trying to keep himself out of the line of danger. Unfortunately, he's been sniffed out by Kuhlect. So Kuhlect's going to soar in to help tap buttons, a little bait and switch perhaps.
I don't know if you've noticed on Barcode's player cam, when like every time his headset's falling off his head, he gets so animated that the headset starts to fall forward as Manny gets a double kill. Now this is big for BitterSweet. This is their chance. Ball gets reset. They've got a couple of kills. They can get some control here and try and toss that ball back. It's going to be on Kuhlect really as the closest member to try and get some ball time. But I think Native off spawn have done very well to get into some of the priority positions here to compete for that ball.
Manny goes down, as does his teammate Descendant. KingNick answered back with one of his own. And he continues to jiggle peek over towards front tower. Two members of BitterSweet positioned on the arcade street. Tapping buttons, looking over the balcony, providing some damage onto Kuhlect. Stalemate on the map, but unfortunately for BitterSweet, Native Gaming continue to score and put distance between them. Real daylight now. Looking at about 23 seconds of a do maths pretty quickly, but not always pretty right.
He has the ball. Ball dropped.
Some ball time now for BitterSweet, and it's good that Manny got around that corner. Had he gone down, that could have actually been such a huge detriment that could have really changed the shape of this game. Camo's up once more. I think that BitterSweet might have got hold of this one. Well, they did. I think Kuhlect had it, and now he falls, sadly. So that was their chance to try and do something with it, but Descendant at least is defending his life in PD. And that double kill will allow the spawners to try and make a difference, to try and take down some of these players so they can actually get some ball control. And he's still going. 3 go down for Native Gaming. This is BitterSweet's chance to set up at tower.
Cracking damage from Descendant. At every single point, he was putting damage down on one player tower, one player pushing him, dropping nades, just trying to deny areas. And now they take the lead, and with a minute left on the game clock, which perhaps won't be an issue here, it's Native Gaming who are up against the rope. They're on against the Kosh. They have to make a play, and they've done so as 3 go down now for BitterSweet. Kuhlect last man standing on the pink side. Gilkey has that information, desperately trying to clamber up, and perhaps he had a big breakfast as Spartan was struggling just a touch. He has now made it. But BitterSweet find themselves in the exact same situation they were in before. They have got to make a play, and they've got to make one quick.
That's one of the downsides of having a setup. If you do not play that ball, then the other team can take advantage of it. They can get control, and now BitterSweet have to go, but Native will hold on. Native will get the second round, and Barcode's headset falls off yet again. We need to find something to keep it on that man's head, but it is a 2-1 lead here for Native Gaming. BitterSweet just couldn't get over the hump there, and that is map 3 concluded. So we'll be back after a break for King of the Hill Live Fire.
Welcome back, folks. Game 4 now underway. Native Gaming and BitterSweet yet to settle this squabble. It's taken 4 so far. Could go the distance and need all 5. That's exactly what BitterSweet will want. That much is for damn sure. Barcode gets a double kill. Manny is going to fall, but BitterSweet now on the ropes and are just a haymaker away, Dan, from hitting the map for the last final time.
Awesome. Certainly, camo control was a struggle for BitterSweet in the previous game. Might be more of the same here. Tapping does go down, though. I guess that's one way to counter the camo control, is just make sure you kill them, make sure they don't get away. But it's a double kill from APG to allow Barcode to keep scoring in this hill here. He's more interested in his teammate's screen at the moment, just because he can't see anything from where he is, so he has to utilize what he's got available to him.
We switch over to Gilkey. He's got 2 players to contend with, and he doesn't come out on top in that fight. He wasn't the favorite, for good reason. Kuhlect now with that sniper rifle. Gonna try and put it to work. Tapping buttons fall to the hands. Or a matter of fact, the gunfire of the bandit rifle. APG inside house. And Kuhlect is just desperately trying to garner information for his team and also land a couple of bodies, or even a headshot if he can. But they're getting a lot of time here, and they've already taken the lead in the progress of hill number 1. APG just about with that D-scope, saving himself from a headshot.
Yeah, Kuhlect can really make the difference and could actually win them the hill here. All it takes is hitting one shot, and that's all you need. Double kill now. Once more, but it is going to allow the rest of the team to score, and it's going to be 3 back to back. Oh, so close to get in the over, but it will secure at least the hill for BitterSweet, and they need something like that. They need someone to put this game on their back right now, otherwise they'll be out of this tournament.
Enemy team took the hill.
APG then. So we flip teams. What can they do?
Enemy team took the
BitterSweet,
hill.
at least Descendant has control of tower. He's going to need to be evicted from that location very quickly, or he could be a real thorn in the side. He does go down. KingNick isolate over towards green, or excuse me, over towards the camo side. in trouble, manages to just about escape with his life. Manny gets a kill, and that's going to help the cause greatly. APG, bottom middle, runs past a teammate, KingNick. Make sure he takes APG out of the equation for now. So they're trading back and forth all the while. But it's Native who have control of the tower for now, at least have control of the score and the progress on hill number 2, but we've seen that before. And BitterSweet managed to get that hill number 1 captured. Manny now has camouflage, and that could be pivotal in what way this second hill swings.
Nothing worse than being no shields and running past a teammate who's running away from something, and you're like, something's coming, something's gonna hit me. They're definitely being chased, and sadly that was what happened at bottom middle, but now Gilkey will have tower control. We saw a triple earlier. Gilkey not able to convert though. Will get a death,
Enemy team took the hill.
a grenade death, or should I say a death from a grenade. And sadly, no triple to work with, but we are going to see Native Gaming now, at least with a chance to try and take this hill. It's Tapping Buttons who has the responsibility of the sniper rifle that collected a little bit earlier on.
Tapping Button needing, maybe perhaps, tap some faces. That's what the team needs right now. That's BitterSweet pretty much tied up the progress that had been made. Tapping Buttons just doesn't have the information, doesn't look comfortable in the hill. Lands the body shot on KingNick. That's enough to push him back, but unfortunately that means that Tapping Buttons has to get out of the hill and trade places. 1-1 the score, Native Gaming right back in this.
I think it's evident sniper rifle control is going to be important here, as it always is on live fire. As the hill now moves over towards house. And Tapping Buttons just needs to get with the rest of the team, because one body shot can make the difference, but they're just waiting for APG off spawn before they get too excited on a push. See, Quantum's going to be up, but is anyone going to be able to grab it? And can that be the little extra tool you need? Tapping knew he was going down just to waste a couple of bullets there.
Manny looking for the sniper rifle, nothing there though. Still looking for it. He's like, no, it has to be here. It's under something.
Check again.
Sniper rifle is out of stock, it would seem, for now. Barcode goes down. Manny slides out, makes the challenge, continues to try and do more damage on the way out, but Tapping Buttons shuts him down before being traded out. Great damage from Manny, ultimately knowing his number was up and he was going to die imminently. APG with the final shot does find that sniper rifle. Manny wasn't wrong, it was somewhere, he just couldn't track it down.
That was important as well, otherwise BitterSweet probably would have had that hill and taken a 2-1 lead, but now forcing that player out means BitterSweet have to kind of readjust where they were placing themselves. KingNick the first to get to the hill, but it's allowed Native Gaming to get into a position to try and compete for it. And now BitterSweet, it is not going to be the easiest hill for them. Camouflage is coming up though, which could be a good distraction for them to work with.
Descendant continues to try and make it difficult, get to trade. 3 dead for BitterSweet though. Camouflage pop for Barcode. Is he going to opt to try and stand in the hill and get close in score? Because a lot of progress made, as you rightfully say. KingNick's going to go down. That's going to give Native Gaming the opportunity to hold some semblance of control. Manny pushes forward, makes the G slide, but unfortunately it's to his death. Descendant's going to push into the house. Once more we get round 2 of Descendant v Barcode, and this time they're going to trade out once again.
It's a big kill from Barcode, but I don't think it's going to help in the grand scheme of things of this hill, as BitterSweet will close it out, and it's going to be 2-1. They take the lead once more. 2 minutes 43 on the clock, so still plenty of Halo to play here. King of the hill. Quantum's going to be coming up though, as is the sniper rifle. We've already seen the sniper was making a big difference earlier, as Kuhlect sends him into the drink.
Splish splash, he's gone. That hill did move, and it did seem to benefit Native Gaming, but BitterSweet have walked out of house, gotten the kills that they need. Kuhlect's going to get a sniper rifle tossed to him, and when you have teammates who have that trust in you to toss you a sniper rifle, they know you're heating up, you're cooking. And the sniper rifle gets past you, it only builds that confidence.
Quantum plus sniper rifle as well, so it means you can take a more aggressive position and then teleport back when things get a little bit dicey, but he gave up his position with that sniper shot, so they know full well where he is at the moment. He's still going, still being aggressive, and will secure that first kill. Now that's an opening for BitterSweet to try and push up on it, but elsewhere the damage has been done maybe by Native Gaming on all his teammates. Kuhlect, the last player alive.
They know exactly where he is. Desperately trying to be the point of difference, trying to find a headshot, lands a body on the Gilkey. Will that be good enough to get the kill? Yes, it will, as Gilkey challenges it, slides out to his own demise. You maybe hope that he can stay alive there just long enough for his teammates to provide some support. Unable to do so. Tapping Buttons fell as well. And that's why you see Native Gaming retreating towards tower, because they know the push is coming, and it did. As BitterSweet now hold control of the hill.
Team took the
But it was only for a moment. Descendant continues to fight in the hill, making himself a very difficult kill. Tapping buttons, back tower, it's going to be a 1v1.
Oh.
Manny wins it
enemy
and
team
wins the hill. 3-1 now.
Massive win for Manny. If Tapping got that double, there was a chance that maybe Native could have rescued that, but now BitterSweet have a 2-hill lead. 17 kills at the moment for Kuhlect. It's just one of those games that we're used to seeing. Camo's going to be coming up as well. It's going to be KingNick securing it. So BitterSweet doing far better in this map and mode of finding that camouflage. And maybe now he can do something to be a real nuisance here as he's going to find the first player, bottom middle.
BitterSweet currently hold a 7-kill advantage. They're outslaying by 7. 3-1 lead, so not blowing this team out of the water by any stretch of the imagination, but the kills have come at the right time for when they need to capitalize on things, as KingNick gets himself a double kill and still running rampant in that camouflage as it now just dissipates.
Yeah, that was his aim, that was his target with the camo to make sure he gets tower control, and now he's in one of the prime positions here, and Native realistically need to try and take him off of it, because if you allow someone to just reign supreme on this tower for too long when this hill is top middle, it becomes too easy because of this. You try and push up to sandbags, you are so vulnerable to those shots from tower. And you've got so much cover as well. You can just back off, you can drop down, you can hide behind the pillars, and then you just jump back up to be a nuisance once more. So you have to push them, and that's what Native are trying to do here. Eliminate that threat from tower and regain that control.
Great bait and switch from Kuhlect and Barcode to get the kill and clear out tower. KingNick no longer an issue. As I say that though, Kuhlect and Manny make the push towards C flat. They're trying to control it once more. Top middle.
to score.
It's still a scrap, it's still a mosh pit. KingNick is standing inside it right now, and they're the ones scoring, but every single time Native Gaming seem to get themselves in this 3/4, maybe 6/8 progress on the hill, they give it up, and they cannot wrestle it back, and BitterSweet win the hill. Will the story change? Will it shift right now?
Well, it's back to a 7-kill lead again for BitterSweet in the Slays. Barcode holding it and says, I'm going to get rid of some of these sniper bullets because I've seen what they can do against us. So instead, they get that hill on the board. It's 3-2, 1 minute 31 left on the clock, and Native's still in this one. That's worrying times for BitterSweet. BitterSweet need to make sure that they get some early time here whilst they have control of green.
Barcode just caught by surprise and maybe thankful that he did waste those first 4 shots, because 6 shots fired total, none of them connected, and he gave over a 2-shot sniper rifle, excuse me, to play with. 1 bullet left though in the chamber, it's locked, it's loaded, and it's a swing and a miss. Nothing doing. Barcode now looks to get touch tight to Manny, but unfortunately for him, Manny's not interested in taking the fight whilst he's full shields. Comes back to the bigger player, but Barcode turns the tide, and Barcode wins the fight.
Well, they needed that. It does get cleaned up, but look at the amount of time that BitterSweet are getting for free in the hill at the moment. Native Gaming need to stop them, will stop them temporarily. Tapping buttons, joining KingNick over there. We're going to see one player going down. KingNick does fall, so Native Gaming, the push is successful. Now they have the hill, but camouflage available. Manny could probably win this game with the right play here. Not sure that's the right play though, but still BitterSweet with a real chance and a real opportunity to try and get the victory.
Barcode then clears out bottom middle, knows there's no enemies there for now. Look at the play over towards tower side. Maybe put some shots on anybody who crossed over towards bridge. As he tiptoes around. Gets one onto Kuhlect. Gets taken down though instead by Descendant. Native Gaming are right there. Here comes that push we were talking about. Manny goes down. KingNick's the latest one to try and push out, get the kill, and shuts it down. Tapping buttons against KingNick. Which one's going to come out on top? It's going to be tapping buttons. It's 3-3. We're all tied up in the hill.
Wow, what a game of King of the Hill we've got between these two squads. It looked like BitterSweet were so close to making us go to a game 5 here, but I will say, going back to the camo on Manny, if he was just a little bit more patient and pushed into that hill, it could have been a very different game here for BitterSweet. And they're not having the early time that they had before. They do get a couple of kills though, and that stick's going to do some damage. 57 seconds, but of course the clock not really going to be a factor here because of overtime anyway. So it's just do or die in this hill. Remember, if Native Gaming get this hill, if they win this, they will be sending BitterSweet out of this tournament.
It's important now that BitterSweet don't play flustered, they don't start being scrappy. There has to be some sort of thought behind the moves they're making. Do not make solo pushes, desperate plays. It is desperate measure time, but you've got lots of time in this hill to change the destiny of the series and indeed this game. Kuhlect top middle is going to fall. They're pushing solo, they're getting picked apart, and Native Gaming are in the ascendancy right now.
It's getting shaky, and Barcode roars across the main stage to let them know, because now it's one last push here for BitterSweet. Otherwise, they will be out of this tournament.
One last push, one last hurrah. What have they got? They're so far away here. They have to get kills and get in the hill, and it's just not got the time to do it. Native Gaming stand up, they stand strong, they win the series 3-1.
Native Gaming will be going through to bracket play. BitterSweet will be going home. We'll see you at 3:30 for the pre-show, and for the entire Halo action, we'll see you then.